All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to take a look at Dale Carnegie's classic, timeless wisdom on human connection, but we're going to reframe it for right now, for our super connected digital world. Because, the old rules still apply, but the game, well, the game has completely changed. And that brings us to this big question, this central paradox of our lives today. We're living in the most connected time in all of human history, right? So why do so many of us feel more disconnected, more alone than ever before? It's a real head-scratcher, and it's something we need to figure out. I mean, the stakes are just incredibly high. We're in this era of what the book calls hair trigger balances. A single misunderstood tweet, a poorly worded comment, it can explode and create just as much disaster as a thoughtless physical act. Every single word we type online carries this immense weight. And that leads us right into our first big idea, the digital paradox. Let's explore how the whole concept of influence has shifted and what new challenges we're all up against when we're just trying to make a genuine connection. Just think about the difference for a second. Back then, influence was earned, with firm handshakes, real smiles, actually helping people out. Now, it's often just about clicking an accept button, getting a viral video, or using some gimmicky self-promotion. The path to real connection has taken a pretty weird detour. And this is the trap, right? We're tempted every single day to believe that the secret sauce is just some mix of a gimmick and a parody. We see people go viral overnight, and we start chasing that quick, fleeting attention instead of building real, sustainable influence. But what does all that noise really add up to? Shakespeare absolutely nailed it centuries ago. When our communication is all flash and no substance, it just becomes a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. It's just noise. There's no meaning behind it. So, okay, how do we fix this? How do we break out of that cycle? Well, it's by focusing on what actually counts, putting meaning over the medium. It doesn't matter what platform you're on if your message is hollow. And a huge part of this is understanding the difference between a real dialogue and a monologue. A monologue, that's just a one-way street. You're just broadcasting, often to manipulate or just hear yourself talk. But a dialogue, that's a two-way conversation. It's authentic, it's considerate, and it's how you build the one thing that truly matters. Trust. This brings us to the absolute heart of Carnegie's wisdom. And honestly, it feels more counterintuitive today than it ever has. So let's unpack the counterintuitive secret to making real connections. Okay, get ready for this, because it goes against pretty much everything our modern me first, look at my feed culture screams at us. The real secret to making progress with people, it's not about getting them interested in you. It is becoming genuinely, truly more interested in other people. That's it. That's the whole secret. It's this massive shift away from self-promotion and toward a kind of selfless curiosity about the person right in front of you. Carnegie himself said it best, and this quote is absolutely one to remember. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming more interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get people interested in you. It's literally about turning the camera around. Okay, so that's the big picture idea. It sounds simple, but how do we actually do it? Let's break it down into 3 timeless principles updated for today that bring this whole philosophy to life. Principle number 1 is to bury your boomerangs, or to put it simply, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. You have to think of every critical comment you post as this invisible boomerang, because in our digital world, that negativity almost always comes flying right back and hits you. And believe me, the consequences are very, very real. We've seen people get fined tens of thousands of dollars for nasty Facebook comments. People get fired for a single thoughtless status update about their boss. Businesses get shamed into the ground for calling their own customers cheap online. The price of public criticism is incredibly steep. Just think about this incredible example from history. After the Battle of Gettysburg, Abraham Lincoln was furious. He wrote this scathing letter to General Meade for letting the enemy army escape. He was just boiling with frustration. But he never sent it. He put it aside. He understood it was more important to maintain his influence than to get the temporary satisfaction of being right. So if we're not supposed to criticize, what are we supposed to do instead? Well, that takes us to principle number 2, affirm what's good. This is about actively, intentionally looking for the best in people, finding the good in a situation, and then actually saying it out loud.
One of the most powerful examples of this I can think of is from the movie The King's Speech. The future king is just crippled by self-doubt, and his speech therapist looks him in the eye and says, "Bertie, you're the bravest man that I know." And that one sentence, that simple, honest affirmation, it changes everything for him. It's not just a compliment, it's a lifeline.
But we have to be super clear here. There's a massive difference between affirmation and flattery. Flattery is cheap. It's superficial. It's often meaningless. True affirmation, well, that's sincere. It requires you to actually see the good in someone, and its whole purpose is to build them up, not to get something from them. And that leads perfectly into our third and final principle. And in our noisy, chaotic world, this might be the most powerful one of all. Listen longer. One of the deepest, most fundamental human desires is simply to be heard, to feel understood. And just consider the astronomical price of not listening. Remember this? A musician named Dave Carroll watched United Airlines baggage handlers break his expensive guitar. He spent an entire year trying to get them to just listen and make it right. They totally ignored him. So what did he do? He took his story to YouTube. His song United Breaks Guitars went mega viral, and in a matter of days, United stock plummeted by 10%. That's a $180 million loss, all because they wouldn't listen. So let's pull all of this together. These three principles, burying your boomerangs, affirming what's good, and actually listening longer, they're so much more than just nice ideas. In a world that is just jam-packed with me-isms and self-promotion, they become your distinguishing trademark. And what's the reward for taking this different path? What's the ultimate payoff? Well, it's rich, enduring friendships. It's business deals and transactions built on real trust. It's a kind of leadership that's compelling and inspiring. And at the end of the day, it's a way to stand out, to have a distinguishing trademark in a sea of noise. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Every single interaction you have today, every email you send, every comment you type, every conversation you have, it's an opportunity. The question isn't if you're going to have an impact, it's what kind of impact it will be. So how are you going to choose to leave people just a little bit better today?